explained, the threat landscape has become very, very dynamic in the way the threats are evolving, and the objectives behind these threats have evolved the last 2 years. Uh, we are seeing the motives in the form of hacktivism, state-sponsored, and financial gain. If you majorly, these are the three areas where we see the threats are evolving, and the face of these threats are changing very, very dynamically. So, uh, for example, if I say hacktivism, let's say, for example, recently the government announced censorship on internet. Okay, one of the regulations and this has really put up the hackers on the job, that the way they are actually fighting for a cause, and here they take up wrong means to stop this activism. So what they do is they spread multiple attacks and compromise a lot of government websites, and thus create a lot of disturbances in the Indian government space. So this is so far as activism is concerned. Now, state-sponsored is again one of the new, the new areas which we see. Different organizations are being targeted, as these fall under targeted attacks. And so then last but not the least, financial gain is again one of the major areas. In fact, cyber crime is one of the very, very large industry in itself, generating huge revenue. So cyber crime has indeed become the focus area. So primarily these are the major threat areas which we. These hackers are doing is that this social networking is one of the very easiest route to get into any kind of network. So far as infiltration is concerned, this social networking forms the best platform for these hackers, because this becomes very easy to get an access to any kind of network. Then further they inject very, very malicious malwares, and then gain access information, and finally they get a complete control of the network, which we call it the command and control center, where they can take care of an entire network and do whatever they want to. So that's why social networking is one of the most vulnerable platforms right now. But again, if you have an effective security approach, you can definitely control all these infiltrations. Checkpoint is one of the pioneering companies who, since the days of firewall, which was conceptualized by Checkpoint way back in '93. So for the last 19 years, we have been innovating a lot of technologies so far as security is concerned, and we have evolved through these years and understood the need, the way the threat landscape has evolved. So right now, we have solutions which will cater to the needs, as you said, in the form of, let's talk about this new thing of Checkpoint Threat Cloud, which is, it is sort of a network of what we do is we actually understand the threats which are there in the internet. We are continuously 24/7 monitor the threats which are evolving, and we are identifying threats in the form of bots, in the form of different attacks. We monitor them through our very, very experts which are there. And what we do is, through this threat cloud, we are now offering something called cloud assembly, cloud services. What we do is that Checkpoint can actually monitor the network, understand the threats, identify the threats, and give a comprehensive solution on how to protect your network through this threat cloud. Very, very innovative way of identifying these so-called bots, which are so-called part of APTs. Very, very essential to be protected against this, because if you allow your network to get compromised, then you are not only allowing your network to get compromised, but you are allowing some other organizations to get compromised through a network. As I said, that there are two kinds of victims, like primary victims, secondary victims, that you might be targeted and somebody might else be targeted through your network. So very, very important that you put the most effective solution. And we strongly believe that Checkpoint, through its might be software blade architecture or the different offerings like that crowd, we can actually put up the best of the solution in a very, very cost effective. We are part of this something called OPSEC, which is Open Platform for Security. In fact, let's say for example, we secure the VMware environment. VMware is one of the finest platforms of virtualization. So let's say if there is a VMware environment, we completely secure the virtualization. Let's say we have dedicated virtualization solutions, but again we can secure a virtual environment. So that solution we have. Then we in fact work in consortium with a lot of larger other partners where we offer solutions which will actually cater to the current need. It's not like that. No, it's actually what the trend is now towards more of collaborative approach. Now it has to be a multi-pronged approach to combat all these threats. So definitely, we every day we are in touch with our counterparts and understand how we can combat these threats together.
Anything else you want to add?
I think if I see this event, I understand there's a lot of potential in this the SME segment. And one of they are the growth growth vectors so far as India's GDP is concerned. And but again, from a security point of view, I see that cloud SMB, what I talked about from checkpoint perspective, it's a very, very effective solution in getting that layer of protection at a very, very cost effective approach.